أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Surah Al-Maun, ayah number 1 to 7. Surah Al-Maun is a Makki surah, and according to some, it is a Madni surah. And it was revealed after Surah Al-Takathur. It has 7 verses, 25 words, and about 125 huruf. It is also said that the surah is called Ad-Din or Al-Yatim. Why? Because both are mentioned in the surah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ Have you seen the one who denies the recompense? أَرَأَيْتَ Have you seen? Do you know who he is? Have you ever reflected on his case? Who? الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ The one who denies the deen. The word deen has several meanings. Of them is religion. Of them is recompense. And over here, ad-deen means recompense, meaning the day of recompense. Maliki yawmiddin. So, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ Have you reflected on the case of the one who denies the day of judgment? Who denies the concept of recompense? If you think about it, the day of judgment has many descriptive names. We have learned about many descriptive names of the Day of Judgment. But over here in particular, Allah mentions ad-deen. Because what is deen? That whatever you do, you are recompensed for it. If you do good, you are rewarded for it. If you do evil, you are punished for it. So in other words, you face the consequences of your actions. This is what deen means. Allah says over here, have you considered the case of the one who completely rejects the concept of recompense? Rejects the belief of akhirah, that whatever you do, you will meet its result? When a person thinks like this, that whatever you do, you will not meet its result, there is no recompense, there is no punishment, there is no reward, what is he going to do? He's going to do whatever he pleases. There is going to be no rules, no laws, no fear of any consequences. He's going to treat people however he wants. He's going to take whatever he wants. He will be selfish. He will be arrogant. And that is the exact description that is mentioned in the following ayat. Allah says, فَذَلِكَ So that is, meaning the person who يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ that is the one who الَّذِي يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمِ the one who drives away the orphan. He is the one who will drive away the orphan. يَدُعُ Da' Dal Ain Ain. We have learned earlier that يَوْمَ يُدَعُونَ إِلَى نَارِ جَهَنَّمَ دَعَّا They will be pushed and shoved and driven into the fire of hell. So, what does this person do? He يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمِ Who is yatim? A child under the age of puberty. Under the age of puberty, who has lost his father. His father is not alive anymore. This is who yatim is. Now, any child, whether yatim or not, does he deserve to be pushed? Does he deserve to be kicked away? Does he deserve to be treated harshly and repulsed and rejected and refused? Does he deserve any treatment such as this? No. Even if a child has done something very wrong, you never ever treat a child like this. That you repulse him, you push him away, you speak with him harshly. You don't do that. You never do that. But if a child is a yatim, whose father has passed away, then what does he deserve? More compassion, more forgiveness. That even if he's done something wrong, you don't repulse him. You still treat him with kindness. Many times it happens that if, for example, the parents are living separately for whatever reason, let's say the father is in another country because of his work, and the mother is the only one looking after the children, even when she gets very upset with the children, she will not show that anger. Why? Because she feels that already they miss their father. So how can I be harsh with them? How can I be strict with them? I let them do this because their father is not here. But imagine this yatim child. Father is not there. But this person, look at his hard-heartedness, that يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمِ A child who is worthy of compassion and mercy, worthy of attention, what does he do? He drives him away violently, does not give him his right, does not help him, does not assist him, does not show any kindness to him, pushes him away. Pushes him away. يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمِ. Because you can imagine, if there are children somewhere, and something is being distributed amongst the children, even if a child is not yours, he will come and ask you for it. If you're giving something to your children, some food, even if a child is not yours, he's just looking at you, and he will come to you, ask you for it. Because children, they don't have that shyness, or that kind of barrier that will prevent them from asking what they want. So, at this point, what should a person do? Respond to the child, give something to him. If you don't have anything extra, at least smile at him, say something nice. But imagine pushing the child, go away from here. يَدُعُ. Go away from here. Get away. Who do you push away? What do you push away? What do you throw away? Something that you find very despicable, of no importance. So فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدُعُ الْيَتِيمِ. He doesn't have any respect for the orphan. كَلَّا بَلْ لَا تُكْرِمُونَ الْيَتِيمِ. You do not respect, you do not have any honor, respect for the orphan. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. And nor does he encourage the feeding of the poor. يَحُضُّ تَحْضِيض, which is to encourage someone. So, he does not encourage the feeding of the poor. He does not encourage himself, he does not encourage other people to feed the needy. Again, a needy person, what does he deserve? Compassion, mercy. Someone who is hungry, someone who cannot afford much, someone who is a destitute, what do they deserve? That you feed them. And if you think about it, feeding the hungry person is the most important thing. Clothing them, good. Providing them a shelter, good. But food is the most essential thing. Because if a person does not get food, he will die. So, وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. He doesn't have any affection for the needy, that he doesn't encourage himself or other people to feed them. We have learned earlier, وَلَا تَحَضُّونَ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. You don't encourage one another to feed the needy. However, the people who will enter Jannah, they're ibad Allah. In Surah Al-Insan, what do we learn? وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. It's the quality of the people of Jannah. It's the quality of the people of Jannah that they feed the needy. They give them food. And it's the quality of the people of hellfire that they don't feed the needy. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. Now if you think about it, who is this person? The one who يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ. Because the one who denies the day of judgment, he doesn't have any fear of consequences. This is why he doesn't feel bad when he's treating someone with disrespect. This is why he doesn't feel any shame when he does not care about the needy members of society. وَلَا يَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. So woe to those who pray. What? Woe to those who pray. Musallin. Who is musalli? One who performs the salah. But Allah says, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ. Woe to these people. It doesn't mean woe to all those who pray. No. The following ayah specifies such people. Which people? Which performers of prayer? الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Those who are heedless of their prayer. Who pray, but they are heedless of their prayer. Woe to such people. Who are these musallin referring to? Some have said that it refers to the mushrikeen of Makkah. Because they would also worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or they would also perform their rituals. But how did they perform their rituals? How? In the most negligent way. How? By clapping and singing. Then we also learned that when they would perform tawaf, they would do so while being naked. Then muka'an wa tasdiya, whistling and clapping. So their salah did not benefit them. Their worship, their rituals did not benefit them. Worship, performance of rituals, whatever kind of worship it is, what should it do to a person? Make him more humble. Make him more respectful. Make him more attentive. But we see that these performers of prayer, how were they? الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. They were heedless of their prayer, meaning their prayer didn't benefit them. This is those people who say that this surah is Makki. And those who say that this surah is Madani, they say Al-Musallin refers to those who actually pray. But how do they pray? Meaning how do they perform the salat that we know? الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. They are negligent, heedless of their prayer. What does it mean by sahun? Sahun is a plural of sahin, from the root letter sin, how wow. And sahin is someone who is forgetful, someone who is unmindful, someone who is inattentive towards something. Absent-minded. Sahu. What does sahu mean? To be absent-minded, to not pay attention to something. For example, if a person is not paying attention during his salah, what's going to happen? He will forget whether he is on the second rak'ah or the third rak'ah, whether he performed 3 rak'ahs or 4. So at the end, what is he supposed to do? Sajda sahu. Same, sajda sahu. It's a sajda that he has to perform. Why? Because of being negligent. Because of forgetting. So what does it mean by this? الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Notice first of all, it hasn't been said الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ would mean that while they're praying, they forget. While they're praying, they forget whether they're in their second rak'ah or the third rak'ah. One is that a person, he doesn't pay attention to his salah, which is why he forgets. But the other is that you are paying attention and all of a sudden you cannot figure out where you are, what's happening all of a sudden. So that is forgiven, which is why we perform sajda sahu at the end. The problem here is an salatihim sahun. What does it mean by an salatihim sahun? That they are heedless about their prayers. Being heedless about the prayer means that a person does not care about the timing of salah, the proper performance of salah. He doesn't care about the prerequisites of salah. He doesn't pay much attention to performing the salah properly. So for example, he delays performing. He delays until the last moment. He doesn't care about the proper timing. Similarly, when he's praying, he's not performing the ruku or the sujood properly. He's not paying much attention to it. He doesn't know how much he has prayed. Similarly, he prays sometimes, and other times he completely leaves the salah. He prays sometimes, and other times he doesn't pray at all. So in other words, an salatihim sahun, what does it mean? That they don't give importance to salah. They don't pay much attention to the prayer. Because a person who cares about salah, he will perform at the right time, in the proper way, fulfilling all the prerequisites, fulfilling all of the conditions, all of the arkan. And a person who doesn't care about salah, he doesn't care about the timing. He doesn't care about how he's praying. She doesn't care about how her hijab is, if the hair is showing or not, if the clothes are proper or not, the sleeves are too short, or the clothes are too tight. She won't care about that. So the one who cares about salah, who gives importance, he will pray properly. And the one who doesn't, he will not pray properly. Now again, if you link it with the first ayah, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ, who is careful about his salah? Who pays attention to salah? The one who cares about his akhirah. The one who cares about his akhirah. That every single movement is important. Every single prerequisite is essential. Every single step of salah is important. And how much ever I invest in salah, that is what I get out of it. So the person who is concerned about the akhirah, he will pay attention to his salah, and as a result he will benefit from his salah. And a person who doesn't care much about the akhirah, he will not care about the salah either. The Prophet ﷺ said, this is the prayer of the hypocrite. This is the prayer of the hypocrite. This is the prayer of the hypocrite. That he watches the sun at Asr time until when it reaches between the two horns of shaitan, meaning when it's about to set, then he gets up quickly and performs the prayer carelessly, in which he remembers Allah but little. So he's waiting until when? The last moments. The last moment, delaying until the last moments. And then he gets up quickly and performs quickly, just to get it over with. And how does he perform the salah? Without remembering Allah. Carelessly. Think about it. If you're ever praying at the last moment, for example, Fajr, can you pay attention to what you're saying? You can't. Because you're running against the clock. You're running against the clock. So you have to speed up your salah, and in that process you also cannot pay attention to what you're saying. You cannot have khushu'. You cannot get much benefit out of the salah. So, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Allah says, الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ. Those who make show. Those who show off. يُرَاءُونَ. Ra, hamza, ya, ra'i. What does ra'i mean? To see. And ra'a, yura'i is to make someone else see. To show to someone. So why are they performing the salah? Why? Just to show to other people that, look, I pray. I prayed. Just to satisfy the eyes of other people. الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ. So on the outward, they are doing apparently good deeds. But this is for whose sake? Just for the sake of people, just to satisfy them. الَّذِينَ هُمْ يُرَاءُونَ وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. And they withhold simple assistance. يَمْنَعُونَ مَنْعُ. They withhold, they stop it, they don't give it. What? Ma'un. Ma'un from the root letters, Mim, Ain, Noon. Ma'ana. Ma'ana literally means to flow. Ma'im ma'in. Ma'im ma'in. Water that is flowing. One root of the word ma'in is from Ain, Ya, Noon, and the other is Mim, Ain, Noon. And ma'ana literally means to flow. So ma'un refers to those things that are meant to flow. What does it mean by that? Meaning there are such small things that are meant to go from person to person. I mean, it's understood. Like for example, a pen or a pencil. Today you have it, you're using it, and then tomorrow it's with your friend, and day after your sister takes it. It happens, right? These things are meant to flow. Like for example, if you have a particular place of stationery in your house. Today you have it, tomorrow you leave it at school, and then your colleague is using it, and then somebody else is using it. It goes from person to person. Why? It's something small. I mean, we're not talking about a Mont Blanc pen, I mean something that's very expensive, but we're talking about an ordinary pencil. Ordinary pencil. Something that's small, insignificant, not that valuable. How many cents is it? A few cents. And it's meant to flow. But يَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. They don't even give that. So stingy. So selfish. So selfish that they don't even give that. These past few days I've had to read this book and mark a lot in this book, this Tafsir book. Every day my husband sees me with a different pencil. He's like, by the time you're going to end your course, all of our pencils are going to be gone. Why? Because, I have a pencil with me, and then just this morning, in fact, it happened that by the time I came in, I saw my pencil, the nib was broken, so I gave it to the lady on the office desk, and I asked her, do you have a sharpener? She said, I have a sharpener, let me sharpen it for you. So she was she's like, why are you waiting? Just take the other pencil. So I left mine with her, and I took hers. Now, okay, mine was newer, it was longer. So what? This is ma'un. But if I'm like, no, that's my pencil. This is selfishness. Ma'un, it refers to something small, insignificant, something that's not too valuable, like salt. It is said, مَا لَهُ سَعَةٌ وَلَا مَعْنَةٌ. Meaning neither does he have something big, nor something small. So ma'un is something small. Now with regards to ma'un, it has been said, it refers to something that is a very small quantity. So for example, zakat. Zakat is how much of your total wealth? 2.5%. But وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. They're so selfish they can't even part with 2.5% of their wealth. Then ma'un is also understood as small things of daily use. Small things of daily use, utilities. Like a pin, a safety pin, a needle, a piece of bread, a bowl. Like for example, your neighbor, they come and they ask, do you have salt? Can I please borrow something? Like, it's my salt, why should I give it to her? They never do their groceries on time, and now look at her, she's coming asking me for salt, and she's not going to give me my box back, and I'm going to be in trouble. Similarly, it happens that sometimes you're cooking and all of a sudden you realize you're out of garlic, you're out of ginger, you're out of a particular spice. And if there's some relatives who live close by or some good friends who live close by, you can just quickly go, run to their place and ask them for it. I remember that I had a very, very good neighbor. Alhamdulillah, now also I have amazing neighbors. Many times it happens that you're cooking and all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I don't have this. So many times I would go up to her house and ask her, do you have garlic? Can I please have a little bit? And many times she would also come to me and ask me. And it's so important to give and share these things because it develops a healthy relationship. This is what develops friendship. But if we become selfish with our onions and our garlics and our bread and our milk and our yogurt, then what is it going to lead to? What is it going to lead to? A lot of distance. A lot of distance. So ma'un refers to small things of daily use, utilities. Then it's also said that ma'un refers to such things that should not be forbidden. Like for example, water. If somebody asks you for water, this is something that we should not forbid. This is something that we should give, we should share. I remember when I had gone for Umrah, I was outside the Masjid al-Nabwi and I was looking for water containers where you can find Zamzam. Some had Zamzam in them and some didn't. And as I was leaving the women's area, I couldn't find any. So I asked the man who was sitting there, making sure that no men go inside. I asked him that, do you know where the Zamzam is? He said, yeah, it's there, you can go. He was telling me. And all of a sudden I saw a can right by him. So I'm like, okay, I have a kid with me. How do I go all the way? And then he said, why don't you just take it from here? I was so grateful to him that he just told me, take it from here. So I just sat down and drank a whole lot of Zamzam and took some with me as well. That had been kept for him, for those people who work there. But water is something that should not be forbidden. It's something understood. It should not be forbidden. Something small, something of daily use, something that everyone has a right over. And remember that when it comes to ma'un, there are some things which, if a person forbids, which he does not give, he's actually sinful for it. He's actually sinful for it. Meaning if you don't give it to somebody, when they're asking you, and they need it, you actually get sin for it. One is that if you don't give something, you don't get sin for it. Why? Because it's yours, it's your decision. You want to give. If you don't want to give, it's okay. But there are other things which if you don't give, you actually get sin for it. Amongst them is also water. Amongst them is water, that you have water. The other person is thirsty. They need it. And yet you don't give it. وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. Some have said that the word ma'un is derived from the word aun. And what does aun mean? Aun. إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينَ. Aid, help. So ma'un are those things which are given in order to help the other. Those things which are given to assist the other. So every good and kind gesture, anything that is given to help someone. Like for example, a person is struggling with a tiny pencil, and you have an extra pencil, you can give it to them. So وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. They withhold ma'un. They withhold small kindness, basic necessities. Things which, if they give, they will not suffer. Things which, if they give, they will not suffer. If you give a pencil, how much will you suffer? 25 cents? 50 cents? Maximum $1? That's what you will suffer? And remember one more clarification over here, that there are some things which may be very small, however they are extremely important to you. They may be very small, but they are very, very important to you, which if you give, the other person takes, then apparently doesn't seem like a big loss, but you will suffer because of that. For example, you have one pen only, one pencil only, and you're sitting in class and you're writing. Another person comes and they asks you, can I please borrow your pen? So at that time, if you say that, I'm sorry, I'm writing my notes with it, and even if that pencil costs 5 cents or 20 cents, that doesn't make you bad. Why? Why? Because you need it. You need it. If you give it, you will suffer. You won't be able to write. So وَيَمْنَعُونَ الْمَاعُونَ. Ma'un refers to such things which if a person gives, it will not cause him any harm. Things that are very cheap in the sense that they're not that expensive, they're not that valuable, and they're always floating around the house. They're always floating around everywhere. Ma'ana. Recitation.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
Another good example of Maun could be, for example, if somebody gives you some food and they give it to you in, let's say, yogurt boxes. Now at that time, you're not going to go on saving those yogurt boxes and say, oh, I have to return this amana to them. I mean, a yogurt box is a yogurt box. It doesn't cost much. You don't even have to pay extra for the yogurt box. So don't go on making your life difficult and making the life of other people difficult. Here's your yogurt box. Please take it back. Similarly, there are some boxes they're very cheap, like those Ziploc boxes. You're only meant to use them a few times and then get rid of them. It's not even good if you use them many times. So if you save such boxes and you're making sure that you return these amanat, thinking that, oh my God, if I don't return it, this is going to be a sin on me. It's not a sin on you. Why? Because it's not like a Pyrex box. It's not a Corningware box. It's not a Tupperware box. But what is it? It's just a simple Ziploc box. So if you get rid of it, or if you don't return it, it's not a big deal. Okay? It's ma'oon. Something small. It doesn't mean that we start considering everything of other people as something, okay, it doesn't matter. What's the big deal? No. Respect the things of other people. However, be realistic as well. See, who will give ma'oon? Who will share it with other people? The one who wants his hasanat to increase. The one who believes in ad-deen. Because he knows that even if I give something to somebody and they use it, everything they do with it, inshallah, I will be rewarded for it. So for example, you give a pen to someone, you could be selfish about it. Oh, that pen is so precious to me, by the way. Yes, I got it for free, however, I like it. And I don't want to give it to the other person. What if they don't give it back to me? But remember, every time they write with it, any time they write something good with it, imagine they're taking their tafsir notes with it. They write their test with it. Inshallah, you get the reward. For what they've written, for what they revise, and they act on it, because of that, you will get reward for it. So who is able to give ma'oon? Someone who is greedy for reward. That I don't want to miss this chance. I don't want to miss this opportunity. Then that pen doesn't become too important to him. What becomes more important to him? The reward. Okay, let's listen to the recitation again.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.